Hi everyone. This very quick recording is going to give a demonstration of the IBM Security Verify operator in action and just show how easy it is to use the operator to protect your applications with IBM Security Verify. So my name is Scott Exton and I'm the Chief Programmer for IBM Security Verify Access. So just by way of overview, the IBM Security Verify operator provides a way of being able to consistently enforce your security, and it does this by using the ingress networking capability of OpenShift in conjunction with the Nginx ingress operator. So it just provides a way of being able to easily protect your applications without actually having to modify your applications at all. So through the Nginx ingress, we actually can instrument the ingress to protect your application and require authentication and authorization. So the IBM Security Verify operator itself is a Red Hat certified operator. And what this essentially means is we're inside of the Operator Hub catalog, which is available in all OpenShift environments. So the operator is there and ready to be used today in your OpenShift environment. So when you start talking about authentication and protecting your applications, the IBM Security Verify operator will use OIDC to be able to communicate or retrieve authenticated credential information from IBM Security Verify. Now, OIDC or OpenID Connect, if you don't know, is a standard protocol that's built on top of OAuth 2, and it just allows clients a way of being able to verify the identity of an end user based on the authentication which is going to be performed at the authorization server, which in our case will be IBM Security Verify. So that's a long way of saying you'll authenticate to IBM Security Verify, and it will pass that authentication information back to your application. And the way that it does that is it does provide a full identity token as well as the username of the authenticated user. It can insert that into the HTTP stream as HTTP headers, so that way your application also knows exactly who is accessing the application. So that leaves the question, how do you actually protect your application with IBM Security Verify? The good news is it's fairly simple. You just need to add some annotations to your standard ingress definition. Now on the right hand side, you'll see a standard ingress definition. Everything outside of the box is what you would usually do when you create an ingress service definition. What's inside the box, the annotations, are the things that essentially instrument the ingress definition with the information that the verify operator needs to know in order to protect your application. So the system and the verify operator will look at your ingress definition, and if it sees those annotations, it will do two things. First, it will register the application with IBM Security Verify. Then the second thing it will do is it will instrument the Nginx gateway so that it knows that security should be applied to the application access via IBM Security Verify. Now, one thing which is important to note is in order to protect your application, you do need to use an ingress definition. And this is instead of the traditional or legacy OpenShift route definition. So we do need the ingress definition. So from an application developer point of view, what do you need to do to actually protect your application? It's pretty simple. You need to deploy your application. You do that already. You need to create the ingress definition, adding the annotations which tell the environment to protect the application with IBM Security Verify. And then you need to create the OpenShift route definition, which is the definition that tells OpenShift how to get from the environment, the entry point of the environment, which is the route controller, through to the Nginx ingress controller. So it's pretty straightforward, and I'll show that in just a little while. So if you need further information about anything which I've spoken about, or you want to find out just further information about the IBM Security Verify operator, you can go to our project documentation. It's available in GitHub, and you can see a URL for that here. Alternatively, there are some additional recordings which are available. One recording gives an introduction to the operator and talks about the operator itself, and the other one demonstrates the installation of the operator. So this particular video that you're watching at the moment assumes that the operator has already been installed in your environment, and it's taken from the developer's perspective, how do I protect my application now that the Verify operator has been installed? So without further ado, let's get to the demonstration itself. Now on the left-hand side, I've got a picture which shows the OpenShift environment. As already mentioned, you can see that a request will come from the client through to the route controller. You'll have a route definition which then says that these requests need to go to the Nginx ingress controller, and then the ingress definition will essentially tell the ingress controller that you need to protect this application or this service with IBM Security Verify before allowing requests to go through to the service. Now, the other thing that you'll notice about this picture is we only have HTTPS into the environment. Once we get into the environment, we we don't protect our traffic with HTTPS. Everything is plain HTTP. The reason why I'm doing things this way is that is a standard way of doing things inside of an OpenShift environment. You trust traffic once it gets inside the environment. However, if you want to use HTTPS traffic throughout the entire environment, you're free to do that as well. That will work just fine. So let's show the environment now and show it in action. So here in my browser window, I've got the console open to my OpenShift environment. I'm in the developer persona at the moment. Now you can see that I've already deployed a demo app. So this is the application which I want to protect with IBM Security Verify. So the first thing we need to do, as I mentioned before, is to create my ingress definition as well as my route definition. So let's do that now. I'm just going to drag and drop the pre-created definitions. And then once I've done that, I'll explain the definitions a little bit further. So you can see here, this is a standard ingress definition. Initially, I'm going to remove all of the IBM Security Verify capabilities or annotations. What this essentially means is what we have here now is a standard definition without any Verify operator interaction. So when we deploy this, we'll be able to get to our application, but it will not be protected. To explain the ingress definition, so you can see the host, that is the host name to access the application. And the path for the host is called /demo app, and demo app is the name of the service. So when the Nginx ingress controller receives requests for this host and this path, it will route the request through to this service. If you have multiple services, you can create multiple services here in the ingress definition, with a different path for each service. Now, I mentioned before that I'm going to be using HTTP to get to my Nginx ingress controller. If I wanted to use HTTPS, I can just uncomment this TLS section. And so again, this is standard ingress definitions, but let's stick with HTTP for the time being. The second thing we wanted to do was create a route. You can see here we specified the host, which is the same host as my ingress definition. The service that we want to route to is my Nginx ingress controller service. We're saying we're going to be using HTTP to get to that service, but to get into the route itself, we're going to be using TLS, and we're going to terminate it here, which is why we've got the termination policy set to edge. So let's create that now. All right, there you go. So we've created the ingress definition as well as my route. Well, let's just show it in action. So I've got a tab here, bookmarked to my application. So you can see here, we can get to the application just fine. So that's a standard ingress definition. Now I want to show what you need to do to protect that with IBM Security Verify. So I'm going to go into my ingress definition, and all I'm going to do is add in those annotations that I saved before. Oops, sorry, I've entered it twice. Now for the annotations, I've specified an application name, and that is the name that will be registered with IBM Security Verify. I've also specified a URL, so that's the entry point into the application that will appear in my verified dashboard. So let's save that. So what it's doing in the background is it's going to IBM Security Verify. It is registering the application with IBM Security Verify. And once it's registered with IBM Security Verify, sorry, I've just got an environmental issue at the moment. Let's just do that again. There you go, it's been saved. Once we've registered with IBM Security Verify, we then instrument the Nginx ingress controller to say that we need to protect traffic to that application. So if I come across to my dashboard and refresh my dashboard, you'll see that the demo application is now there. So I could launch it from there, but we've already got this window, so let's launch it from here instead, and we'll see the network traffic. So you can see here I've made a request for the demo application. We're being redirected here through to my IBM Security Verified tenant. There you go. I'm already authenticated, so I don't need to authenticate again, but the very first time I'm coming in, I still need to give consent for this user to be able to access the application. So I'm going to give that consent. And there you go, we've got access to the application. The application is now protected by IBM Security Verify. And you can see here the identity of my authenticated user has been added into a HTTP header for consumption by the downstream application or the protected application. So that's probably about it. You can see we just added 2 annotations to our ingress definition, and all of a sudden your application is protected by IBM Security Verify. So I hope that you found this useful, and I hope you enjoy using the new IBM Security Verify operator.